There are questions about governance. There's nothing that you do in a modern democracy where you do not consider the issue of governance. Governance means, at its basic, accountability. How are the public funds reported on, and how do we assure the public that the funds that you have provided through your taxes or through loans, that they are actually used for the purpose for which they were allocated. So that's the accountability and accounting part of it. And then there are issues of fairness and equity. The people who get to spend the funds and benefit from the funds, why? Why did you get the contract and not you? So those are equity questions. Was it competitive, or was it because of who you know? Then there are the conflict of interest issues. Are the people making decision also have an interest in benefiting from the funds? And there are some other deeper equity issues as well. So governance is important. And governance starts from the minister. Then there's an intermediate body, which is the board in some instances. And then you have the executive, the person who actually takes the policy and converts it into the outcome. Now, between the minister making the policy and that policy getting through to the board, to the executive, and then converted into an outcome, there are many slips between the cup and the lip. There are many ways in which policy, though well-intentioned, can go wrong. What we have learned is that the utilization of the social partnership has created a mechanism of governance that is super effective, because it brings the public into the decision-making process and into the oversight process, directly and indirectly, by having persons who are of high repute, known integrity, reporting on the activities of an executive for performance. So using the EPOC model, which you would know, the Economic Program Oversight Committee, which was established to oversee government's implementation of the fiscal transformation of the Jamaican economy. Bank stakeholders, private sector stakeholders, unions, all came together and formed an oversight committee to oversee what the government and the Ministry of Finance was doing, and they reported to the public routinely, and their credibility was essentially leveraged to ensure that the government stayed on track. We intend to use this model for NARA. NARA is not a political entity. NARA is not there to be a long-term institution. NARA is an implementation machine. Its job is to take policy and convert it into outcomes. It's not there to win friends. It's not there to distribute political spoils. At the end of it, I want the highways to be built, the schools to be built, the new hospitals to be built, the new town centers to be built, and the communities that are to be relocated. That's it. They have a clear mandate. It's not to give benefit to friend and company. It's not to facilitate the diversion of funds. This is just to get the job done. And at the end of the day, when that is finished, the sunset clause kicks in and NARA is no more. That's it. So whoever is going to be the executive of NARA will understand that this is just a job that you have to execute with almost military precision. Get it done. And you will have what we call the JAMROC, the equivalent of EPOC, that will, at intervals set, report to the public that they were supposed to start this school or start this hospital. They haven't. And of course, the executive director or managing director, whatever title is given, he's not going to be my friend. If the job isn't being done, that's it. Now, I know there's a great fear in Jamaica for this. There's a great fear for this kind of arrangement in terms of how our public bureaucracy works, where it is totally outcome determined. Because can you imagine if this were the model for all public entities? That it is solely a matter of how you perform. You keep your job by virtue of your performance. Can you imagine? So yes, I understand why there are great fears in some quarters about an entity like NARA, because it is totally performance-based. And that's what we need. If we are serious about getting growth, we must transform our public bureaucracy into one that is performance-based and outcome-determined. Right now, we are process-based. It doesn't matter if the man drop off the bridge and died. What matters is that we followed the process. And I'm not saying you must tear down the process. Process is important, but we must move faster. And that's what NARA is about, moving faster. So I hope I've brought some clarity to what it is that we're trying to do.